Have you ever wondered what it's like to take hormone replacement therapy for 18 months? How about what kind of impact that has on you physically, emotionally, and sexually? If so, this video might be for you. So let's get at it. Hi, my name is Kate Madden, and I live in Calgary, Alberta. I'm passionate about community, creativity, and collaboration. I also happen to be a transgender woman. And in today's video, I want to detail some of the changes that I've experienced physically over the last 18 months of hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. This is the first of 3 videos that I'll be releasing. The first video is the physical, the second video is the emotional, and the third video is the sexual. I did another video about 6 months ago marking 12 months of being on hormone replacement therapy. This isn't so much an update, but I think just given the numbers of people who have watched that video, and from what I can see of the analytics, I think it's a different audience that will see these 3 videos. And so I just want to detail through the timeline of 0 to 18, and perhaps you might learn something new as you prepare for your own experience, or you compare it against your own current experience. HRT will turn your life upside down. Without question, we all have different experiences, and the efficacy of the drugs is going to impact us differently depending on different things about us physically or environmentally. So in this video, I want to detail the physical changes that I've experienced over the last 18 months and what it's like to see somebody different in the mirror every few weeks, especially after years of testosterone poisoning. I'm taking a combination of 3 different medications to induce a second puberty: estrogen, a testosterone blocker, and because of my age, progesterone. I've met some trans girls who will cycle progesterone to mimic a cisgender woman's menstrual cycle. I take it straight through based on what my doctor has told me to do, specifically to avoid blood clots. And personally, I have no desire to experience a menstrual cycle. So if you're doing that, let me know in the comments what it's like, what your experience is on that. It's just not something that I have any desire to experience. But before starting those 3 types of medication, I started another blocker about 3 months prior, primarily for hair loss, called Finasteride. So that was in December of 2017. Also in December of 2017, I was referred onto the province's wait list to go see a psychiatrist at the local gender clinic. Why this is important is because here I am, 19 months later, and I just saw that psychiatrist. If I followed the process that they put forward, is that I would have gone to see my GP. I would have then seen the psychiatrist many months later. I would have then gotten a second opinion from another psychiatrist, gone back to the original psychiatrist, been referred to an endocrinologist, who would then also refer me back to the psychiatrist, who would then refer me. Anyways, it would have involved a lot of medical professionals and a lot of waiting. If there's one thing I've learned about trans healthcare over the last year and a half, it's that we're not trusted to make the medical decisions that we feel we need to make for ourselves. And while legislatively we might have self-identification, it seems that bureaucratically we still have a lot of gatekeeping. It's exceptionally frustrating. So I did go see the psychiatrist, and because I had found a local doctor who was willing to do informed consent HRT 18 months ago, I was already way ahead of everything. So I've been out for over a year. I've been living, working as myself for 12 months now. Name legally changed, passport, driver's license, healthcare card, everything. I am socially, professionally a woman. And so I saw the psychiatrist here 5 days ago, and all my paperwork is in now. So all the referrals for both top and bottom surgery are in, and now it's just more waiting, but less waiting, if that makes sense. So I'm glad, I'm happy to be at this point, but it's kind of frustrating at the same point to have waited so long. So one of the main reasons for the waiting now is that the only surgeon I can go see for bottom surgery is in Montreal. And so there's a bottleneck of all the trans people in Alberta and elsewhere who need to go to Montreal. I don't know how many provinces the Montreal clinic services. I know there are surgeons in Toronto, in Winnipeg, in Vancouver, but for whatever reason, Alberta just uses the Montreal clinic for now. You know, if I had $20,000, I'd jump on a plane and go to Thailand. There might be an informed clinic or informed consent clinic where you live. But this whole process has taught me about bodily autonomy and self-identification. It's also given me a tremendous appreciation for privilege, specifically because I've abdicated privilege. I've walked away from so much. And when it comes to medical decisions, that I'm not even trusted to make medical decisions for myself, is exceptionally frustrating. And I can't say that enough times. So maybe not an observation physically, but certainly an awareness that's developed over the last 18 months as a result of the physical changes and the surgical changes that I will want to make. Anyways, here's a short version of the last 18 months. In the first 3 months, I had so much weight loss, it felt like 100 pounds, but over a 6-month period, it was about 70 pounds. I think a lot of that was in the first 3 months. People thought I was dying. People thought I had cancer, and they were very, very concerned. 6 months in, people I had known for years walked by me. They didn't even recognize me. 12 months in, I noticed that guys that I had once been bigger than were now bigger than me. I really noticed it in the shoulders and in the chest. I became really aware that a man could hurt me now, and I wouldn't be able to put up much of a fight. 18 months in, I think physically the change that's happened, and maybe it's more a reflection of my own confidence, but I'm not misgendered by strangers or retail workers anymore. It's been a while. I am pretty consistently misgendered by people who have known me for years and dead named, and it just hurts. That I correct you means I want to continue the relationship where I can respect myself enough to communicate to you who I really am. I think when I get to the point when I just stop correcting people, I'm just not going to care anymore. So that's the TLDR version. Are you ready for more details though? I can go on, and I'm going to. Most of the changes, really physical changes, seem to be between kind of 8 and 12 months, like the measurable stuff. But the first changes I noticed were kind of the first 3 months of taking hormones, that my upper chest was sore as if I was, in the gym doing the incline press, military press, Roman press, maybe you called it. So that was a few weeks in up here, and I noticed my nipples began to get sore a little bit after that, or not sore, but sensitive. And I can tell when I'm in a growth spurt is when my nipples are sensitive, whether I'm putting a shirt on or I accidentally bump into something and double over in pain. About 13 months in, maybe 14 months in, I noticed my B-cup bra began to become very uncomfortable and painful through the day. I thought I was just gaining weight, but actually I lost like 15 pounds. My son wanted to try keto around this time. It worked for a little bit. Anyways, I noticed that it just wasn't fitting the same, and then I kind of clued in when I went and picked up a C-cup in my closet that I'd bought a year earlier, and it had seemed ridiculously big at the time. I had filled 2 nylons full of rice, and I was using those while I was by myself. And so I put that on, and it fit. It fit perfectly. Because I thought maybe I needed to go from a 36B to 38B or something. But no, I needed to just go from a 36B to 36C. And it was so comfortable. And so I'm at a point now, 18 months in, where I can't hide my chest at all. And it's taken some adjustments I'm getting used to. I was playing guitar earlier, and that kind of vibrations aren't really pleasant. I got rid of my golf clubs because I can't swing the same, and I think I need to, once I'm finished growing, I'll have to get fitted for a different type of golf club. The drugs are powerful and they work. And I guess, I don't want to hide the physical changes anymore. I can't possibly without looking ridiculous. The next thing I noticed early on was that my hair was shedding all over the place. Like 3 months in, 4 months in, my former partner commented, my daughter commented. And what was happening is that the estrogen was pushing out the testosterone hair, the dead hair. And that's why you often read about how trans women, their hair feels more lush or more thick. I can't say that I ever noticed that, but maybe because I've never had hair this long before. So it's just all new to me. One thing that I really struggled with growing up from the time I was about 13, so when I hit that first testosterone puberty, is that dandruff was so hard for me, like snowstorm all through high school. And as I got older, I would notice that if my hair got too long, that the dandruff would come in. And so I was very, very regular with haircuts, 4 weeks, 6 weeks tops. I didn't wear a lot of black shirts, black t-shirts, because I was so self-conscious. And I was always constantly in my suit, brushing my shoulders off. But, here I am. I haven't had a haircut in almost 2 years. It's been about that long since using Head and Shoulders as well. And there's no dandruff. There hasn't been dandruff once. It's been really, really nice. I used to scratch my scalp until I would bleed in the different areas. It was so painful. But it's been forever since I've had to worry about dandruff. Another thing about hair that I noticed is that I had a big bald spot back here. It was big enough that my kids would make fun of it, and my former partner would tease me about it. And about 8 months in, a friend of mine who's a hairstylist was just kind of trimming my hair, and I could feel her back here. And I was like, oh my gosh, please don't cut anything. That's where my bald spot is. But she couldn't find it, and it was gone. So it all grew back here, which is really cool. Not everyone's does, but mine did. There's been nothing here though, so I don't feel too bad about this. I've met too many girls with that widow's peak, but I kind of had hope for a little bit in there. Maybe I'll get FFS up there perhaps in a while after I'm done all the other surgeries. So fat redistribution is another thing that I noticed. I don't know, 6 months in, 8 months in. I first noticed it in my belly. It became soft and jiggly. Just like it felt like overnight. Just one day, it's just poof. Then I noticed my thighs, my hips, especially when I would wear jeans. Oh my gosh. I think I look good in jeans actually now. And yeah, I think I look good in jeans, especially in my hips and my thighs. I'm not sure if my butt has changed much. When I would wear a dress or a skirt, my former partner would always comment about how good my ass looked and how they wish their ass looked like that in a skirt. But I can't take a look at my butt from behind, but I gotta think it's widened a bit. Widened in a good way. I think about 6 months in, 7 months maybe, I was switched from Spiro to Cipro. And the Spiro was working, but the Cipro had an immediate impact on me. My testosterone dropped to 0, like overnight. At the time, I was still doing bi-weekly blood tests, so the doctor was like, "Oh, this is good. He's got a Russian accent," and I can't do a Russian accent, so I shouldn't even have tried that. But anyways, it's always fun to visit him. So my skin softened, body hair lessened noticeably. I didn't have to shave my whole body as much or as aggressively. I'm going to deal with sexuality in the third video in this series, but one of the things I did notice that I'll touch briefly on is that erections stopped physically. As well, my penis shrank very rapidly. Think, summer day, jumping in a cold lake and just that shrinkage that occurs. I know you know and you've experienced if you're watching this. So it's been about a year since I've really had an erection. Occasionally I wake up in the middle of the night with one, and it's more, I get startled awake by it. It's not a pleasant experience, and I don't engage with it and just wait for it to go away. And I've lost a lot of size as well when I do. That's one thing I've noticed. So shortly after my testosterone dropped to 0, my estrogen levels entered normal female range, and I've been stable in that range for about 10 months now, at the same dosage as well. So I'm at 8 milligrams of estrogen every day, which is the highest that under the trans medicine protocol here in Canada that you can take. I don't know what that's like globally, but at least here in Canada, it's at 8 milligrams. I know some menopausal women are taking 10 milligrams a day. So I'd be curious what the differences are physically, or physically, that impact the efficacy, that require 20% more in terms of the estrogen. So I think my eyes have changed to a lighter shade. Just looking at photographs, looking in these videos, hard to say though. People who have known me a long time, no one's commented on my eyes as yet. So if you've known me a long time and you think this is a lighter shade, let me know, because I think it is, but you might know better. So another thing I noticed, and this is really cool, I'd read about this online as a possibility of it occurring, but my feet shrunk. When I started transition, I was a size 12 women's, and now I'm a size 11. Just this week, I was at the store and I could wear a 10.5, but it was just a little too snug. Maybe I could have stretched it. It was a 9 West shoe. It was really nice, but even though it was on sale, I was saving money I didn't have, and it was the size just a little too tight, and I could see myself being uncomfortable at work in them. So, your muscle mass will shrink. When I was wearing a watch, my watch band shrunk to wristband sizes. Just carrying kitty litter from the car the other day, 30 pounds of kitty litter, and I was exhausted. I could barely carry it 50 feet from the car to the front of the apartment, and then up 2 flights of stairs to my apartment. So the final thing I would comment on is temperature regulation. Wow. I think this has been the most consistent thing that I've experienced over the last 8 months or so. And it's kind of unpleasant. So I'll get hot flashes through the day. I wear a blazer to work most days. I work in a professional setting, so I try to look professional. And all of a sudden it'll just hit me and I'm sweating. I just have to take my blazer off and sit there. And, if I'm with another girl, I'll just say, hey, here's what's going on. And they're cool. I don't say anything to a dude. So, if one of my coworkers or clients is watching this and is a dude and you notice that next time, that's why. But yeah, like hot flashes during the day. I'll also get chills, sometimes uncontrollable chills that cause shivering. Those are more likely to come at night. I'll wake up in the middle of the night with those chills and that uncontrollable shivering, or night sweats, soaking pillow night sweats. My room is cool, and I sleep with the window open and a fan, but I still get those. I was in Malta about 6 weeks ago, and for those of you who don't know where Malta is, it's south of Italy. It's south of North Africa, really. Tunisia is to the north of Malta. It's 180 kilometers north of Libya, I think. And, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but it wasn't very hot. I was there at the right time. It was 24, 25 degrees, very pleasant and very enjoyable. And I was out on the far side of Malta, looking out at the ocean. It was beautiful, and I couldn't stop sweating, uncontrollable sweat. I just exerted myself very slightly, not a lot. And I knew I needed to hydrate myself, just given the volume of sweat that I was losing. But yeah, so I sought shade, I sought shelter, and I drank a lot of water in kind of over a 2-hour period as I recovered. But that was a really odd thing. We're approaching 30 degrees here in the summer now. It's July. And I haven't had a repeat of that since I've been outside. A couple of times at the park with the kids and so on. But it was very odd, for sure. So there's probably other minor physical changes, at least minor to me, that I just haven't noticed. If there's something specific you wanted me to talk about, or you had a question maybe you feel I've missed, let me know. Ask me in the comments below. Send me a DM, whatever, and maybe I can help you out. I hope you've liked this video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's something that you've found value in. If so, please like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching. I'll post the second one very soon. Here's to life.